love Brad Keselowski. We love Keselowski. We love Keselowski. I love fucking NASCAR. Okay? Shouts out to you guys that follow the Hot Pass Podcast, Friday Morning Betting Show. Follow me on the Action Network. Follow me wherever the twists and turns go of the week. This is going to be a podcast for the future. You know, this is something that you guys are all going to come back to and go, this guy, he's nuts, he's crazy, but he loves NASCAR. He went through some wild shit during the week, and we're going to touch base on everything that happened in my week leading up to this race, and then talk about Brad Keselowski with the W. I just have to say one big round of applause to Brad Keselowski. 110 race losing streak, or winless streak, I should say, and coming out clutching up at the end with Chris Buescher and Tyler Reddick. We're going to break everything down. So welcome to the Hot Pass Podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. And thank you for listening and enjoying the podcast every single fucking week, Monday and Friday. Available wherever you get your ears, dude. Wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever, also on YouTube as well, a day later. Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube, at @FurlongEric_ on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. And then the link tree in the bio of the social media. Go to the Action Network. Follow me on there. We love fucking NASCAR, and this is where we make all of our fucking money, baby. Okay, so let's dive in. I'm just trying to think. Do I start off with the Brad Keselowski win? Do I start off? I'm just going to say it. We're going to just say, I'm going through a current breakup right now with the love of my life. There was a lot of stuff going on between, I was living with the in-laws to help them out financially, and I just need to take a deep breath. To help them out financially, and that's why the setup is different, because I had to move out, and there was like just a big kerfuffle early on in the week. I appreciate everybody that still loves me, and my family and friends that have been there this entire week, supporting me, helping me able to move stuff out of their place, and I mean, it involved the police to be able to get my stuff. Like, it was a long week for me. And you know, I sometimes resort back to going to dating apps and go back to my old ways, and sometimes you go back into your old ways, just to cover up the hurt. But luckily I have lots of good, solid friends and family that have been there supporting me all week, and I appreciate you. I won't name you, but you all know, if you're listening to the podcast, you guys already know who you are, and I love you guys. And it's just been a tough week, and thank you for just supporting the dream I've got for this podcast. This is a bit of a heartfelt one before we get into the crazy, super regular Eric that we have always on this podcast. Okay, because I'm crazy and nuts, and we fucking love NASCAR. And this isn't a sob story to get you guys to feel bad for me or anything. I just wanted to let you guys know why on the YouTube, Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube, is going to look different for the time being. There's going to be, at some point I might, try and get something up on the wall behind me. But until then, it's going to just have to be a sign that says love behind me and a brown wall. I'm going to try and get a setup up in my bedroom, something simple. Just to be able to record the podcast for you guys, so you guys have something to look at behind me rather than just looking at my ding-dong stupid fucking face. And then if you listen on Spotify and you're just listening, or Apple or wherever, it's all going to stay the same. So, but that has been my week. So, Friday night is when I ended up going to get my stuff from the ex-girlfriend's parents' place. And luckily, let's dive into NASCAR, boys and girls. Shouts out to you for listening. Hot Pass Podcast, heard around the fucking world. Okay. Luckily, the truck race ended up getting rained out till I think they started at just after 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And I should have not started drinking this fucking diet root beer. First off, it's just in the fridge, and I just wanted something to drink to celebrate. And I don't really drink heavy unless I'm at a NASCAR race. So suck my butt cheeks. But luckily, we were done moving everything and went out for food. And they said 10 p.m. Eastern is when they're going to go green, or just after 10. So I'm like, oh, perfect. We're just finishing up dinner, my brother-in-law and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to sit down in my room and watch the fucking race. And, I got to say, though, like, NASCAR takes, I don't know if you guys have the same feeling. When you're going through something tough, you find something that helps you get through something. And during COVID, I'll just give you a bit of a backstory of why I love NASCAR so much. It's my grandfather is currently passing from cancer. It's terminal, and he was the one that he's been watching NASCAR since like the 60s and 70s, sitting with F1. And he's got this room. I'll post it at some point on my social media, but he's got this room that has no vents in it, and it's all Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. stuff, and Terry Labonte, but mainly all Dale Sr. stuff. And I remember that room as a kid. I remember like my first gift from my grandfather was a little 1/64th die cast of when I was born or whatever, of a Dale Sr. car. And I love that thing. And I was in and out of NASCAR my entire life. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, I got invited to go to the Michigan race last minute with some buddies that I was friends with at the time, and went down there and made friends with the people next to us. And then COVID happened. I was into NASCAR kind of, and then COVID happened. And then it was UFC and COVID. UFC and COVID. UFC and NASCAR that were really the only sports that were on. And then I started getting really into NASCAR. And then, found Dale Earnhardt and their content. And ever since then, I just really touched base with something that was in my whole life as a kid and I was in and out of. And then I just went full speed into NASCAR. Full speed, that's the fucking docuseries, but, no pun intended. And I just love NASCAR so much. There's something in me that is like, I'm at work all week, and you just get excited for it on a Friday night, a truck race, and you're working for the weekend. It's like that song, everybody's working for the weekend. That fucking song. Little out of tune. Maybe I'm close. If I'm close, comment and be like, you nailed it, dude. But back to the sob stories is then, my grandfather's been passing away, and I've been hardcore into NASCAR, hardcore into like the last 3-4 years. And my grandfather started passing away, and it's just been like super, super tough. And my healing is like watching NASCAR, and yeah, I bet on it, I make money, whatever. But like it's something, you find that thing that just gets you fucking excited and makes you so happy. And I'm just trying, and my podcast is for me to be able to share this with you guys. That when I sat down Friday night after everything that has gone on all week, I'm just like, I could take a deep breath and just relax and escape with my racing. And I don't even do iRacing. Like, I don't play video games. I just like watching old races that just happened, last year's race, just looking up stats and just watching cars. And it consumes me, and I appreciate you guys, just like the whole betting community, everything. Since the beginning of the year that I started this podcast has really opened up, my world to new heights, and I appreciate you guys listening. And so I got to sit down and watch the truck race, and let's just dive into the bets now. This is what a transition. So thank you again. But the transition was I finally got to sit down and watch the race. And this is why you have to follow me on my social media at @FurlongEric_, to be able to see the final betting cards. Because I'll talk about stuff on Fridays. But remember, we haven't for the Friday morning betting show, but on Thursday nights when I record it, and I don't get to see the practice and qualifying, right? I'll pick a couple guys, give you guys a couple things that I'm taking for sure. And then I say, we're going to wait on this guy. We're going to wait and see. I want to see. And then you kind of have to leave options open. We talked about Ross Chastain for the truck race at 9-1, just for a brief second, and said like he's going to be one of those guys that are going to be up there. You got Kyle Busch and Eckes and Heim and stuff. And then just before the race, I'm sitting down for dinner, and I'm like, I'm like, hey, brother-in-law, I got to like, place some fucking bets here. Kyle because the lines opened up and I saw Christian Eckes. I think I ended up telling you guys this on the Friday morning betting show. It was Eckes over Heim. Now, I'm not recommending doing that every week, but he hasn't like, Heim didn't win here yet. And I think his best finish was like 8th or something maybe. And Eckes won here last year. He's going to battle all year. Now, I'm not going to say that his truck was good. I don't think it was definitely not race winning speed this week. But the top 5 was a lock. I gave you guys the Eckes over Heim. He gets up and caught in an accident. Now, I love Dean Thompson, but what the fuck was that? But it helps us make a bag. So we did that. And then throughout the race, that made me so happy because I was like, woo, we just won like $200. Sick, dude. 2 units on that. Turned into 2 units, baby. Let's fucking get it, brother. Just outing my unit allocations right there for you guys. Rewind it. Listen to it again. Come back to this. So, and then just before the race, I put 4.6 units down on Christian Eckes minus 115 top 5. That was a lock all day. Now, like late in the race or whatever, I thought it wasn't going to hit because he was starting to fall back and like Ty Dillon and those guys were coming and I was like, oh shit, he's going to fucking finish 6th or some shit. But then the late race caution came out and Heim was already, I think, out of the race. But just before that, this is why you follow me on social media at @FurlongEric_ on X. I posted a couple minutes, I think 5 or 10 minutes before that late race caution came out. I did a little sprinkle on Ross Chastain live at like plus 800 or plus 850 it was to win the race. Because it was like the only guy, like Ty Majeski at that point ended up like, he was like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Ross Chastain or 7 seconds. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I lost that, but I have Eckes over Heim and then Christian Eckes top 5 if that holds strong and holds true. We talked about Stuart Friesen, but he was irrelevant all day, and we had Eckes outright. But I was like the only guy, if a late race caution comes out, and we know that we've been burned on this so many times that just take Ross, little sprinkle, we'll use up a little bit of our profits because we already had the Eckes over Heim and the Eckes top 5 if it stayed green to the end. I'll just use a little bit of my profits and pop it on a Ross because if there's a late race restart, my boy Ross, if you guys have watched the previous episodes on YouTube or on the podcast, so you guys know I'm a huge Ross Chastain fan. And I'm like, if there's a late race restart, he ends up choosing the inside, which ended up happening. Late race restart, he chooses the inside next to Ty Majeski. That motherfucker's going to do anything to win. Anytime Ross Chastain in any of the fucking series is ever on the front row and your guy that you chose decided to choose the outside, well, your day is probably done. Your money's gone. And at the same time, mine very well could be too because he's going for W's. Like Ross, at least when he comes out of the truck races, he's only going for wins. And he was probably like a top 5 truck, I'd say, kind of all day. I mean, maybe just outside the top 5. Like he was in and out of there all day. But then that late race restart came and we cashed a fucking beautiful bag. I think we ended up cashing 8 units, 8.34 units or whatever. What a great race. What a great finish. And the raw emotion. It's just like me with how much I love NASCAR, right? I get emotional. I get excited. You guys see it on the podcast. You see it. On social media and how much I love this shit. Go to my Instagram or whatever, or my Twitter and fucking see my reaction to Brad Keselowski winning. Okay, I fucking love Brad. I love everything they do and all that shit, but we'll get into that for Sunday's race. And the emotion that Ross, when he won, is the same emotion a lot of us feel about our sport. And like we get emotional and we start crying or tearing up, and we just love when you love something so much and you're so passionate about it. That's why I'm happy when I see Ross Chastain winning races, because he actually gives a flying fuck. Like it's like I tweeted out saying it, you know, the emotion I'm seeing in Ross is beautiful. It's not like some people that are stoic and show no real emotion when they win. Like Chase Elliott was like barely showing emotion when he finally won at Texas and broke his. And I like Chase, you know, I like everything pretty much about him other than his attitude and like how he, like when he's in front of the TV, he's not really, you know, exciting to fucking listen to. But I mean, today's race too on Sunday, he was absolute dog shit, which is crazy. Who would have thought that? But, Like Larson when he wins, just very stoic. Denny does a good job just in like he fucking sells himself really well. But other people like Ross just was fucking in a truck race. Kyle Busch just wins. Hey, thank you. I won it. It means a lot. Thanks to the sponsors. But Ross was full on like fucking like he's like, this is where it started for me to be able to win at Darlington again. And this boosted my career like a couple of years ago. And now I'm in the Cup Series and all this stuff, and it changed his life. This is why we love Ross. He's a blue collar guy. He loves just racing, and he's a watermelon farmer too, baby. So shouts out Ross Chastain. What a win. What a bag for the Hot Pass podcast. You have to follow me online, okay? Because sometimes you see practice and qualifying, and your picks early on in the week that I gave out are not very good. So you have to, I tell you guys to follow me. They're exclusive on the Friday morning betting show for Trucks and Xfinity. But I say just before the race, about an hour or so before the race, I try and get the betting card out there so you guys can get the lines that I have as well. Okay? So Xfinity. Now, where to start? Congratulations to Justin Allgaier for getting his first win of the year. Remember guys, he's coming on the podcast soon. Hopefully this gives him it's probably going to be busy season now for him to be able to, he's going to be doing interviews and all this stuff, but hopefully Mike, his PR manager, can be able to set this up. And I was hoping to be able to get him on sooner so then I can, boost him to go get his first win for the year. Right? But it's okay. When he comes on, bet on him the week after or whatever, or that coming weekend. And then Justin Allgaier goes and wins the race. So that would be great. That's what I was hoping for, was to have him on, and then he wins the very next race. Because then I'd be like, boys. But one thing before we go into the betting card is Sam Mayer. Just follow me on social media. He wore the shirt on Friday. Ended up getting rained out for practice and qualifying for Xfinity. But he was wearing the shirt that I gave him at Talladega. So I got something to talk to him about the next time I see him. I'll be like, he was all smiles about his shirt. He's loving that vintage shirt. If you're a racer and I love you enough in the Xfinity series or whatever, I'll gift you a shirt if you make me an absolute bag. Brad Keselowski's got millions, so he can afford that shit. So you can buy your own shirt, Brad. So the race was like Justin Allgaier show, which is totally fine. It was good racing. I love a lot of the paint schemes, the throwback paint schemes. I like, was it Parker Retzlaff's throwback to Harry Gant in the Skull car. That's my all-time favorite paint scheme, other than Terry Labonte's Kellogg's car, Kyle Petty's, what the fuck is that drink called again? Mellow Yellow, because we don't get it in Canada. That's why it didn't come to my head. The Mellow Yellow, some of my favorite paint schemes. And there was a lot of good ones, Days of Thunder stuff, and it was really, really good. But the Sam Mayer top 5 was easily all day. So beautiful. AJ Allmendinger. Okay, I took this just before the race. Austin Hill had a shot to win. Sam Mayer had a shot to win. I was going to take Austin Hill top 3 just before the race, decided to hold off, and that would have cashed. That was unfortunate, but Carson Kvapil, it was a tiny sprinkle to be able to take him top 5 as well, and that wasn't even remotely close all day. But the one before I took just before the race was AJ Allmendinger over Riley Herbst. And he was smoking Riley all fucking day. Top 5 car all fucking day. 5th or 6th, all fucking day. He was like a 4th to 6th place car all day. Even 3rd a lot of the times too, at the beginning of the race. And then I think it was like the end of stage 2. And his car just fucking has problems. That would have, the Sam Mayer top 5 and the AJ Allmendinger, I would have broke even. I would have broke even. And if I had the Austin Hill top 3, it would have just been a beautiful day if I ended up taking it. But, what the fuck, colleague? What is going on? Okay, AJ Allmendinger, me betting on AJ Allmendinger, needs to take a fucking break now. And I disrespect my boy Riley Herbst. And we're dogs. And now I'm going to have to admit to him the next time I see him, I chose AJ Allmendinger over you at fucking Darlington, and look how it turned out. Well, sorry. Disrespecting my pal. We're not pals. We're not best friends. Don't act like we're best friends, but he knows me. We're cool. We dab each other up. His dad's like fucking bet your life savings on him, and now this weekend I didn't bet my life savings on him, and AJ Allmendinger decided to hurt me. That little fella. Short little fella. I'm like, wow. So I don't know what's going on in college. They're running basically dead last in the Cup Series. Their Xfinity cars are dog poop. Supposedly they're trophy hunting. That is not fucking true. So I don't know what's going on. Also, it's funny how fast we move on from certain drivers. Like, I still love Shane Van Gisbergen, but he's been irrelevant because of the tracks we've been on. I gotta sneeze. This is not a good time to try and sneeze. Okay, it's gone. I'm a fucking lunatic, dude. Maybe that's why the girlfriend and I broke up. Oh, wait. It's not because of that. It's not because of that. I loved her. Okay. All right. So let's get into the real deets. So anyways, we're negative on that. We take William Byron and Ryan Blaney for qualifying for the pole. We don't hit that. So now we're up like what? After the Xfinity race and practice, for Cup qualifying, where I think we're up about 4 units, I think, or something like that. A little over 4 units. So we're having a good day. And then I kind of start thinking, right? I start thinking after practice and qualifying, I go, it's Brad Keselowski's fucking day. I wanted to see. He qualifies second. I go, it's Brad Keselowski's fucking day. I don't care what you all say. Early on in the week, I predicted it. And I ended up saying, like, on social media, I went, this car is fucking sick. The Japanese fucking, the car, the paint scheme it's originating from is beautiful. Brad Keselowski's been second so many times. He's been good here, consistent at Darlington. And I'm not sure if I mentioned him on the podcast on Friday. I don't think I did. Oh, no, I did because I took him Group C winner. Oh, so let's back up, baby. Oh. So I was right from the very beginning. Bitch. Oh, people think that I'm fucking stupid. Oh, people think I don't know shit. Well, I know fucking shit, baby. Because early on in the week, what did we take? We had Group C winner on Bet365. Shouts out to you guys for listening. We talked about Brad Keselowski plus 250 for a top 5 because he's been so good here. He's been good here. He's been consistent, even in the number 6 for his 3rd year or whatever, 4th year driving it. And I go, man, it would be nice if he fucking won. Well, then he qualifies second. And I wake up in the morning and I go, there's a fucking boost. He's 10-1 everywhere. There's a boost on Caesars Sportsbook at 14-1. And I go, yeah, we're popping a fucking unit on this bitch. Pop a full unit on it. I feel good. It's Brad Keselowski's day. He can save tires. And finally, with good qualifying, he's going to be able to have a shot. Now let's talk about also Tyler Reddick getting the pole position. Anybody that gets the pole, Chris Worm fucking end up tweeting it out too. You bet on the pole sitter at Darlington every fucking time. So when we come to the pole, we end up going to the fall in Darlington. You have to bet on the pole sitter, I feel like, at this point, because like that is insane. Like, it's 20 feet in front of him. Anyways, I'm going to move on from that because Tyler Reddick didn't end up fucking winning the race. I like Tyler Reddick. I love Chrissy Busher, but that's Brad Keselowski's day. So I told you guys about it. I told you about him. We took some stage matchups. We won one of them. So that was kind of irrelevant. Ricky Stenhouse was dog poop. Chase Elliott, I ended up taking. He was dog poop. William Byron was consistent, in the top 10. And I had him at plus 850. And I would bet that again. He didn't have the best car today, but I would bet that again in the fall when we come here. William Byron. It's every time I bet on William Byron, he doesn't fucking win. It's crazy. We'll go next week to the All-Star race and he'll just magically win. If I go to the Coke 600 and I don't fucking bet on him in 2 weeks, he's going to fucking win. It's just, it fucking drives me nuts. Anywho, Hocevar was irrelevant. Chase Elliott top Chevrolet was irrelevant. Ross Chastain could have possibly had a shot to be top Chevrolet, but very inconsistent all day. But the man of the hour is Brad Keselowski. I mean, today we're plus 14.55 units. I mean, 20 units all for profited all weekend. Like, what a fucking weekend. Like, Brad Keselowski deserves a shit of it. Like, we got to do a breakdown. This man has continuously finished second. He's been madder than hell. He saw after qualifying second, that how mad he was. He just wanted to fucking win. And if he got that pole, he would have been the leader all damn day. And everybody would have been like, holy shit, he's so dominant. and he would have dominated this entire race. And Brad Keselowski, what he's done for RFK, Chris Buescher winning what? 2 races last year or 3 races? Yeah, 3 races last year. Brad finished in second early on last year at Atlanta, letting Joey Logano just go by. The multiple second places this year. Finishing top 5s, Watching Chris Buescher get ever so close last week. And it just felt like it was RFK's time. And I really feel like they were fucking consistent, dude. And RFK, if they continuously if they don't go through that summer lull that everybody, like a lot of drivers get, and they keep consistent all year, I'm telling you right now, RFK, championship contenders. Like anybody that has Brad Keselowski to win the championship or Chris Buescher, if you don't have Chris Buescher yet to win the championship, I would just take a light sprinkle on it. I don't even know what Brad Keselowski's was. He was probably like a 20-1 or something like that, or like a 25-1 to win the championship. Well, that shit's gone. RFK, I love their paint schemes. I love the monochrome numbers. I love it's Junior Motorsports for number 1 all day for merch. Because we talk about merch. I wear I got the vintage Jeff Gordon 1995 championship t-shirt on. We love the vintage. We love any sort of merch. We're going to buy some Junior Motorsports merch online tonight as well. That'll come in a week or 2. But I got to say that RFK, their merch, everything, their social media, whoever runs their social media is hilarious. They're fucking awesome. People were harping on them all week about them not being like people that are Larson fans have literally no fucking sense of humor. When RFK's posting how straight the finish line is at Darlington, and they're like, Larson fans are like, man, Larson won, like get over it. Like, hey man, move on. Come on, you guys like are really gonna keep posting this? Like, you guys need to just keep going. And it's like, you guys don't get it. They're fucking making a joke about it. They've moved on. And how did your day finish, Larson? How did your day finish, Larson fans? Now, that paint scheme is beautiful. It's one of my all-time favorite paint schemes. Who doesn't like that? And the Terry Labonte jackets they have. That Keller's car and Dale Sr.'s black Intimidator car are some of the most iconic paint schemes of all time, right? And everybody wants that shit, but like, fuck you, Kyle Larson fans. Well, not necessarily. I'm sorry, guys. Some of you. I've met some terrible Kyle Larson fans. I've also met some terrible Chase Elliott fans, but it's not all of you. But just the ones that don't have a sense of humor, okay? Don't think, just don't really see past the fucking blinders of Kyle Larson. It is so crazy that you guys don't have a fucking sense of humor. So not all of you. I love and respect you. Kisses, right? But also fuck Kyle Larson. And it's hilarious though. It's only hilarious because it's like you sit there and it's hard to bet on him. Everybody talks about it. It's hard to bet on him. He's the favorite every week, and he either wins the fucking race by 0.001 or the next week he's crashing into the wall by him fucking self. Like, what? How, dude? I don't understand that. How? Everybody's like, yo, he's the best. He's number 1. And then he crashes himself. Okay, guy. Okay. At one point, I thought Kyle Busch was one of the greatest drivers. If Kyle Larson goes to the Indy 500 and wrecks himself, I will giggle ever so hard, but keep it to myself until I come on the podcast and you hear about it. It's just so funny. I hate to see it only because I really loved that paint scheme. That was sick. Yeah, fuck Kyle Larson fans that couldn't understand the jokes that RFK was making. And how does it feel now, baby? Because RFK is going to be like, the finish line straight this week, baby. You don't need a photo finish for this one. Check this out. Because RFK's the shit. Their merch is good. Their social media presence is amazing. Their drivers are great. And what Roush, Fenway, Keselowski have done to the Roush Fenway name of what those cars used to be looking like, they would drive basically 20th late and farther back place into the 30s every week. And now look at them. Now look at them, man. Congratulations to RFK Racing. Brad Keselowski is a well-deserved man. And watch out. I'm saying it now. When I go to Michigan in August, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher are on your card. It's a Ford weekend. Ford's fucking back. Joey Logano even had a good day. I don't like Joey Logano, but he even had a good day. I mean, Ford very well could be back, and we're all talking about Noah Gragson being the leader, and there's Blaney. Nobody, and I wasn't really talking about it much, but Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher are the leaders for Ford. When Penske have been slacking extremely bad, and we don't know what the fuck is going on at Stewart-Haas other than Noah Gragson doing the best. I mean, and shouts out to Josh Berry for having a great day. Who the fuck saw that coming? So shouts out to them. But consistently, all season so far, RFK has been there. And that's why all of us continuously kept betting Brad Keselowski till it hit. So, I mean, technically, he probably made all my money back over the last year and a half or whatever, 2 years of betting on him. So thank you for giving me my money back, Brad. Let's keep winning more. So RFK, shouts out to you guys. What a weekend. I mean, 20 units is a great time. Now, I want to also I want to address this before I get into what I'm thinking of for next weekend or this coming week, and for 2 weeks, is what the fuck Joe Gibbs Racing for not, like, Truex getting in an accident, good, because they tried to say that the auto owners paint scheme or whatever was a throwback. Didn't even try. Denny Hamlin not having a throwback. He was pretty much irrelevant all day. Wasn't a threat ever, which is kind of crazy because it's Darlington and he's won there 4 times and he's been really good. So he was inside the top 10 all day. The starting of the race, stage 1, was outside the top 10, like fading out of there. Like he was just really bad, but no throwback paint scheme. This is what I'm getting at. Throwback weekend, dude. The fuck are you doing, Joe Gibbs? Like, it's stupid, dude. Ty Gibbs not having one, and Christopher Bell. You know, Ty Gibbs ended up finishing second. Congratulations, dude. It's not the drivers. It's whoever the fuck is in charge of doing these paint schemes. What are we doing? That's why you didn't win today. Boom. I have cracked the code. The reason why Joe Gibbs was absolute dog shit today, their whole fucking, well, not dog shit, but they were just not really relevant other than Ty Gibbs all fucking day, was because you didn't have paint schemes. Look at how Christopher Bell was running all day. 20th. Who the fuck saw that coming? He's either really good or really bad. And in my theory, I'm smacking the microphone. Calm down, Eric. In my theory, you have a throwback paint scheme, you're going to race well in the spring race at Darlington. So if you're listening, Joe Gibbs Racing employees, if you want to have a good race in the spring, let's have a throwback like Brad Keselowski. Have a throw. I mean, Chris Buescher didn't have one. I get it. I understand. But look at where he finished. Tyler Reddick's was okay. That wasn't most eye-popping, but look where he finished. Brad Keselowski, RFK. Also, since we hit big this weekend, my friends, well, wait a minute. I want to say also Chris Worm. I'm not sure if he's betting on, if you all know Chris Worm, I think it's at Chris Worm on social media. Chris Worm, Worm, whatever, is coming on the podcast for the All-Star race. I'm this coming Friday morning betting show. I just want to ask him first. We might move it to a later date because he's, I'm not sure if he's even betting on the All-Star race. So if he is, then I'll have him on. If not, we'll bump it back 2 weeks. Because for the Coke 600, I'm going to have at least one of the guys from Win the Race on. So I'm really excited for that and to break down that race. But I just want to tell you, this is what I've been waiting to tell you guys all night. We talked about the stuff that happened for me during the week. We talked about the races and the bags we made this weekend. And shouts out to you guys for listening. But because I tweeted out, and you have to follow me, I tweeted out, let's all hope that I cash a bag this weekend. Because if I do, I'm going to the Coke 600. I need some time away. I need a trip. So I'm going to wait to book my flight. Hopefully the prices don't go up too bad. Because it's an 11-hour drive for me from Canada. I might drive. We'll see. just a long drive. It would be nice to just have some, like, time alone in the car and just drive, but it is a long drive. I just drove 14 hours one way and 14 hours back from Talladega, so don't really want to be doing a drive like that again. But I'm going to wait till next weekend to book my flight as long as the prices don't go up too high or whatever. But if the weather's looking nice for the Coke 600, I will be there. I'm going to go visit my friend Ashley down in Georgia. We're going to get absolutely fucking hammered. I love her and her boyfriend Andy. Great. I think it's Ashley True Love on Instagram. Fantastic lady. Her boyfriend is amazing. He's not on social media, but they are the greatest fucking people. I love them to death. And I think she's going to be there Friday and Saturday for the Coke 600 in 2 weeks. And then her and her boyfriend are both going to be there for the Sunday. And hopefully no rain, because last year that whole weekend was a wash until I think they ended up racing both races on Monday. So I think, they got the truck race in on the Friday, but then Xfinity and Cup had to both get moved to Monday. So, because I would have to fly out Monday. That would be the plan. So, yeah, Coke 600, possibly. We have Justin Allgaier coming on the podcast and in the near future, hopefully. He's 1,000% coming on. It's just a matter of being able to get him booked. Because I'm just some guy. I'm just some guy that loves vintage, loves the fucking NASCAR so much, loves going to the races, loves doing his podcast. So he's coming on. We got Chris Worm coming on soon. We've got some guys from Win the Race coming on for the podcast. And then at some point, I'm going to try and get my brother on here so we can do some shit, because it's hilarious when we're together. So shouts out to you guys for listening. I love you guys. It's at @FurlongEric_ on social media, on X, TikTok and Instagram. Show some love on there. Make sure to hit the notification bell on YouTube or wherever. The Friday morning betting show is available every single week. The podcast is available every Monday and Friday for your ears and eyes on YouTube. Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to like, rate, share, subscribe to the podcast. And we're just all over the place with our breakdown at the end of this podcast. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for listening. It's been about 37, 38 minutes of the podcast. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me all the time. And thank you for being a new listener. And let's keep this podcast going. I love you guys. And we'll talk to you guys on Friday. Okay? Talk to you later. We'll see you. Peace.